Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the NES Fight Stick for Arcade1up. Now, I put together a video about this, but this is now available, and there's a handful of things that I want to update everybody on based on the video that I did. So if you haven't checked it out, the video is called The Easiest Mod That, the easiest mod you've ever seen. We're going to talk a little bit about this chip in it, talk about what it's capable of doing, talk about Famicom clones real quick, talk about the product itself, and then we're live here, so I've asked the audience, if you have any questions about this product, I'll run through those questions and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So some of the information that I put out on this video was really talking about how I was testing it thoroughly. I was trying all the different carts on it, and I thought, this is a very easy mod. So I've been covering Arcade1up since 2018 here on YouTube, and I've read tens of thousands of comments from viewers, and what I've learned is there's a huge variety of people that there's a big range of people, right? So there's people that are very into the modding the cabinets, and they have all the skills. They understand how to download ROMs. They understand how to do woodwork buttons, swap out different things. There's another set of people that don't have those skills, and they really wish there was like an easy mod that's really easy to go. That's why I put together the video like that, to explain that if you're not interested in doing those more complex mods, this mod is for you. Okay, so that's the idea. And the reason is because it couldn't be any simpler. So you buy this for, and this is the surprising thing that I found about it, it's only $109. So if you have, I'm not sure if I have Prime, so at least with Amazon Prime, it's in the United States, $109, free shipping. What are you going to get? You're going to get the control panel that drops right in perfectly to the Gen 1 Arcade1up cabinet. Now, I want to emphasize that a lot. So if you have an Arcade1up like the Street Fighter or the Final Fight from that first generation, this is going to work perfectly. And how it works is you take out the original control panel and you put this one in, and all that takes is the couple screws. So again, if you've assembled the Arcade1up cabinet, which I bet you did, this is a mod that you can definitely do because it takes no additional skills beyond just assembling things. Now, on the very back of the cabinet, you can unscrew the little PCB that Arcade1up delivers with the monitor, and this has a replacement part, and that connects to the control panel, and that is what allows you to get NES on the monitor. And it comes with its own buttons and sticks, and you don't have to wire that all up. It's all done for you. So there was some people in the comments that were talking about, I made this statement that it's probably running Linux, and I want to take that back. I don't really know if it's running Linux on it, and I'll explain my background on that. So what I've noticed when you take a look at this chip is it's outputting what I said, native HDMI, and this is true. The very, very popular NES clones that are out there use this. It's this epoxy mod. They've been around for over 10 years. You'll notice that when you look at it, it has this black epoxy blob. Those only do composite video, and they've been around for 10, 15 years. When you go buy these $20, $30, $40 NES clones, this is what you can typically expect on it. If you take a look at the back of the consoles, you'll see it has composite video. Even though it has HDMI, really composite is the highest quality you can get out of it because it upscales the composite video. Now, some people have pointed out that there are newer, inexpensive NES clone consoles that do native HDMI. That's great. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a mod, and it's probably using an ASIC chip, or it's one of the two, right? I don't know, because it was this is etched off here, so you can't see what the chip is. Is it an all-winner that's kind of like the 60-in-1 or the Arcade1up Arcade1up's Gen 1 Arcade1ups that actually do run Linux and then run emulators on it? Or is this an ASIC chip out of China? It doesn't matter. I don't know. But what I do know is the quality of the video is pretty good. And it's because it has native HDMI, and it's not upscaling it from a composite video. So the picture looks really crisp. And I tried to point that out. The other thing I wanted to point out is there's a lot of people that are really concerned about, does the cartridge block does the cartridge block your view? And I tried to point it out right here in the video. This is me sitting down on the Arcade1up stool. And when I sit down on an Arcade1up stool, I'm sitting down lower than I would be if I'm standing up. Does that make sense? And this is the point of view right here. This is me sitting down, getting comfortable, and my camera is at my eyes. The NES cartridge is not blocking my view. Whether I'm standing, whether I'm sitting, I'm 5'9". I imagine if you have a young child and they're standing, yeah, it's gonna block the view. If you look at the NES cart itself, now this one right here is with a Famicom cart. It does include this Famicom adapter as well. So if you live in another area or you have a collection of Famicom games, you can use that adapter and connect it. Now, one of the questions that we had in the live stream is, they wanted to get validation and verification that it does work. Where is it? How to Bachelor said it, right? We're talking about Punch Out. Oh, can it play light gun games? There's no support for light gun games. There's no way to connect a light gun to it. I guess it's probably possible for it to do a light gun, but it's going to be super complicated because the original Nintendo light gun games have a photo sensor in it that are not sensitive enough to see the screen. I have an entire video on that I did years ago that talks about how you can actually play Punch-Out on an LCD. And there's some misinformation out there. People think that it's entirely related to the photo sensor inside the light gun detecting CRTs, and that's not true. It's actually detecting the light and the absence of light at a very specific timing is what it's doing. And so there's two things to remedy that. If you have a photo sensor that's more sensitive, one that can take in more light, it's able to detect the differences between white and black on an LCD. It doesn't require scan lines. That's incorrect. That's fake news. The proof of this is there's websites out there that allow you can take a mod, an NES cartridge mod, and it allows you to play Duck Hunt on an LCD screen. And what's the modification that they do to it? Timing, because that is what's going on. CRTs have zero lag, so the flash happens, very, very quickly, and LCDs have a little bit of lag in there. And so the photo sensor, you put it all together, and you could get Duck Hunt working. I don't think you could get Duck Hunt working on here because there's another problem. How are you going to connect the control panel? And the control panel uses data line 2 on an NES light gun, and probably these mods don't even listen on data line 2. They only listen on data line 1. Little nerd out there on there, but if you wanted more information about that, you can research it. Dig deep and you can find all the information that I'm talking about. Only if it came with the send-in light gun. Link in the description. Yeah, that would be funny. Okay, so the other question is, when is the Genesis version coming out? There's another version coming out from Intech Gaming that allows you to play Genesis carts. Now, I have that. I've been testing it for a few months now, and I have a problem with it. The unit that I have doesn't have an issue, but I'm struggling with compatibility. I got stuck on one thing, and that is the EverDrive the EverDrive Pro is not working for me. So I just received another EverDrive. It's an older EverDrive. It's like a V1, which is a lot cheaper. It's like $40. And I've been told that it works perfectly with that. So I'm going to test it out, and then I'll create my video on it. So for the Nintendo version that's out there, again, $109, it's going to come with these 10, these little covers for the deck protector. They're not very good. They just, the artwork just doesn't look good. I mean, honestly, I think what does look better is just white, because the artwork that comes with it, I mean, I almost think they shouldn't sell the artwork. Like, it just makes it look tacky. What they should do is work with, the various people that, I mean, it's just a piece of paper. So either come up with better artwork or give the designs to one of the other third-party companies out there and say, go ahead and make better looking, control panels, maybe DIY Retro Arcade or Arcade Graphics or Retro 530 or all those different companies out there. They could probably do a better job. The only thing they're lacking is they don't have the exact dimensions where all the buttons and holes go. So if they had that information, they could probably make a better one. But does that mean you shouldn't get it? Well, it comes down to whether or not If you have a Gen 1 cabinet, then I think it's under consideration. If you like the original Nintendo games, if you have access to Nintendo cartridges, because as JJ Jones says, this thing doesn't come, you need NES carts, right? So don't be deceived in thinking that you're going to buy this and you have access to all the Nintendo catalog. That's not what this mod is all about. Right under this flap, that's where you put in a Nintendo cartridge. But I'm happy to say that I tested a lot of different options out there, whether it's a multi-cart or an EverDrive. It just works. So it works really, really well. The only thing I didn't test was the power pack, but I don't think a lot of people have a power pack. I have the power pack in my PlayChoice 10 to be able to play additional, any NES game I want on the real PlayChoice 10 arcade hardware. The power pack is really old, and it uses like a really old SD technology, the SD card. So if you get like anything modern EverDrive, it's gonna work just fine. CT Jason says, "I wish." Sorry, I'm just making fun of you, CT. I wish they had a better overlay for the replacement deck. The Street Fighter one looks a little cheesy. Yeah, that's the downside of this. I would definitely just ignore those little pieces there. Okay, let's see. So people are talking about what about the newer gen Arcade1up cabinets. So it does technically work with all Arcade1up cabinets, even the newer gens. But there's a handful of cabinets that it's not going to work with. So let me kind of show you the cabinets that it's just not going to work with. I've done a couple of videos on this, but let me go to the Arcade1up website, look at all Arcade1up cabinets. Totally not going to work with Tron or T2 Ridge Racer. I assume a handful of people have asked if it would, they've asked if it would work with a Countercade or a Partycade. It's not going to work with any of those devices. I mean, unless you like buy it for $100 and then take all of the equipment out and then put it in an NBA Jam Countercade, like technically that would work. But then where are you going to put the cartridge? Like this is just, it's not realistic, right? But seriously, if you wanted to do it with like this cabinet, the versions that are available right now will not work. No Intech Gaming fighting stick is going to work with these style of cabinets for two reasons. One, this is a vertical screen, and the current fighting stick is meant for a horizontal screen. Then the second reason is the control panel just simply won't fit. It won't fit in this cabinet because the control panel of these type of cabaret cabinets are just not styled for it. Now, the other thing you have to think about is like the Big Blue. It's not going to work on the Big Blue, right? Don't mod Big Blue, by the way. Like, come on, leave that stock. Don't throw an NES fight stick on it. It would be not ideal to do it on a 4-player either. Why would you spend money on a 4-player? Then it's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work very well on these cabinets because this sandwiches in the control panel. And again, the NES fighting stick was designed for the Gen 1 arcade cabinet. Get into the Marvel superheroes. It will work with this type of cabinet. You got a horizontal screen, so you're good there. And the control panel sits on top. But like I've said in other videos, the cabinets that have speakers above, those same type of cabinets will have a gap. And it's because the entire cabinet is actually a little deeper. The control panel is deeper on these cabinets, and the NES fight stick or any of the Intech Gaming fight sticks as of now will have a gap. Let's see. So Seen It All with Jeff and John says, how do people stand in front of the Arcade1up? I am 6 foot and the screen is so much lower in terms of viewing. Either have to stand weird or sit on a stool. They're not full-size cabinets, remember. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Let me jump to the bottom. How the Bachelor's talking about is Flashcart has complete NES ROMs. There you go. How well does that work? So you're going to play the NES games through the Sega multi-cart on the Sega. That's interesting. I don't think I remember hearing, I haven't tried it, like the emulation of Nintendo on the Sega flashcard is not very good, right? So he says he's on the fence of getting it. I didn't want to open the boxes of my mini consoles. I wouldn't open your boxes. If you have not opened and you have a vast collection of mini consoles, Now, if you have a collection of carts, on the other hand, and you like playing those carts and you wouldn't mind playing them on an arcade, you know, like a 3/4 scale, then I think it'd be pretty good. Pete says Intech also sells the Bluetooth dongles that allow you to play the NES Mini, Sega Genesis Mini, and I modded the Arcade1up Final Fight to play my modded PlayStation Mini. There you go. So will the NES option work with the newer Arcade1up cabinets? I have Miss Pac-Man. Nah, don't do it for a Miss Pac-Man. The control panel's not going to fit in a Miss Pac-Man, and Miss Pac-Man's going to be vertical. And so this is designed for horizontal. Now, they do have a new piece coming out later. I don't know when, but Intech Gaming mentioned that they have a solution for vertical. It's like a mount that allows you to move it from vertical to horizontal. So it'll be like a little accessory that they can sell. And they are looking into or working on tooling more control panels for the different models to add more support. Again, if you're interested in this one, get the NES, get this NES Fight Stick for $100. If you're totally like, have carts or have multi-carts or have an EverDrive or don't mind buying those things, and it's on a Gen 1 Arcade1up cabinet, like a Street Fighter or Final Fight, maybe the first generation Mortal Kombat, but not the Legacy Edition. Don't do it on a Legacy. Don't do it on Marvel Superheroes. I wouldn't recommend because you're going to have a gap. And I think that's about it. So if there's any more questions that you have, link down in the description for this product, but you can comment down below and I'll answer any question that you have. Just put a question mark or, hey, I have a question, Justin, and I'll be able to answer that for you. I was planning on just a quick live stream overview, mainly one to announce that these are now available and the price, which was surprising. I thought it was going to be $150. I thought they'd actually charge more than the Switch one. They didn't go that direction. They went less expensive, which kind of makes sense. It has less buttons, so they're probably cheaper to produce. I also absolutely love, again, I said this in the video, but I can't tell you enough, that button on the left is the reset button. And it's so nice. It's so nice to click that and boom. If you're playing a normal game, it just resets to start. If you have an EverDrive in there or a multi-card in it, it takes you right back to the game selection screen. And then that is select and start. Next to it, you got power on and off, and you got, sound. This is kind of like the old school Arcade1up Gen 1. So if you're replacing a Gen 1 with this control panel, it's perfect drop in. You're going to have a volume mode of off, low, and high. And that's it. Anyway, if you have any more questions about it, please do not hesitate to, comment below, and I'll try to answer those questions. And we'll see you guys in the next video.